Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from.
Evacuate the island.
What's up, people? It's time to talk about one of the most generic, by the numbers, dumb summer blockbuster movie that is pretty much the standard for every other summer blockbuster movie, Jurassic World. A film from 3 years ago that might make you wonder why the hell I'm even reviewing it. Well, that's actually why I'm reviewing it, because it's something that has already come out. I don't have to give money and go to the theater to see it. And I have a feeling that if I were to do that, to see Ready Player One or Rampage or some other crap, my experience and what I would get from those films won't be that much different from just rewatching something like Jurassic World. And surprisingly, there are some aspects that are better than here than in your typical Marvel or DC superhero film. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Despite knowing I could talk about everything this film does wrong in detail, this review is not going to contain spoilers. I really just needed to review something mediocre without having to pay money to see it, and this film fit that description to a teeth. Jurassic World is kind of a reboot, but it's actually a sequel that ignores all the other sequels to Jurassic Park. Just think of this as an alternative timeline for the franchise. You can consider the other 3 films with the classic characters as the first timeline, and Jurassic Park with Jurassic World are the second timeline. And to summarize the film, you have a park, it's essentially a zoo, but instead of normal animals, you have dinosaurs. And people pay loads of money to spend time, or in our case, to drop their kids in an island filled with these extinct creatures. And to correlate with our desire to always want more, the people in charge of the park decide to create a new type of dinosaur, the Indominus Rex. And that's when shit hits the fan and people die. Jurassic World is shockingly rewatchable. Before I started watching it, I was dreading the thought of it, since I didn't thought much of the film the first time I saw it, but as soon as it started, it was actually not that bad. I still don't think the film is good, it's not only terrible when it comes to story and characters, but it's pretty well put together in the technical departments, like the sets, the locations. To put it bluntly, the park in Jurassic World feels like a real park, like something that exists and is physically possible for me to visit. And that's such a breath of fresh air, especially when I start thinking about all those Marvel and DC films. Take Black Panther for instance. Comparing Wakanda or even the scenes in South Korea with anything from Jurassic World, and Black Panther comes out losing because its scenery looks fake as shit, while here everything looks nice, clean and authentic. Jurassic World has great production value, something that's important if you want your movie to look good. Now, where the film fails where others might not, is in the direction, the characters, the tone and the plot. Basically, you can watch Jurassic World with no problem. You just might spend the entire time wondering why the film is so fucking stupid. Or better yet, why the characters are so fucking stupid. I don't mind the fact that it's possible to train raptors like you would train dogs. It's not like the movie presents this relationship like it's a piece of cake. The raptors trust Owen, Chris Pratt's character, to a certain extent. And I think this was one of the better parts of the film, especially towards the end. Now, wanting to use raptors in a real-life war scenario and believing that raptors would be better than modern technology is just stupid. It makes no fucking sense. If you were talking about dropping a few raptors in an enemy camp in order to create chaos, then yes, that makes sense. But wanting raptors to team up with soldiers and thinking this is better than using some piece of technology, it's stupid. Unless you can control the brain of each raptor and make sure they won't turn against your own man, then this character, the one I like to refer as a stupid general, this character is really stupid. It's like who's writing this guy was thinking of a child, because he has the mentality and mannerisms of one.
Easy. Hey. We're on the same side, right? Right?
Everyone else is also not someone I would call a great character. The kid, the younger one, has a personality of a brick, and the older one is just an asshole with no redeeming qualities. The adult female lead is really just that, an adult female lead with no personality, and Chris Pratt is just Chris Pratt. Less. Somehow they managed to give him a character to play that takes away some of his natural charisma, because in this film he comes off incredibly more generic than anything else I have seen him in. As far as the other problems go, for some reason everyone treats this new dinosaur as some kind of Godzilla type threat, something that's impossible to destroy even with nuclear weapons. And when you see her, the dinosaur is female, getting easily wounded when a missile misses her, you start realizing that maybe the problem isn't the fact that this dinosaur is smarter than the others and managed to get out of her cage. Maybe the problem is that the people in charge of the park are really bad at their jobs. Like, they're the most incompetent idiots you could ever have hired. And the tone is all over the place, between the nostalgic soundtrack and the park, which is meant to make you remember that feeling you had when you saw the original. You have forced humor that reminds you of Disney films, violent animal attacks that are presented in this visceral, gritty, realistic way, something that just doesn't mix with the childish characters and stupid one-liners. It just becomes awkward. The film becomes a giant, bloody mess of different ideas, each one executed in a different way. And that's probably the best way to describe it. It's a giant mess. With entertaining action, I'll give it that. I'm giving Jurassic World a 5 out of 10. It's not a bad movie, but it's not a good movie either. It's somewhere right in the middle, or something like that. Anyway, thanks for watching, hope you like it, comment down below, leave an upvote for that algorithm, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!